Sometimes I can see them in the tree there. I can hear their little warble like I used to hear when they were growing on my porch. Sometimes they even come back and sit in the old nest for old time's sake. I thought they didn't say goodbye, and then I found out they hadn't left. They're in the tree. Dove song. Pearl, she has a nest in my front yard, and she's here to get some water. She's keeping her distance now, but I'm watering, and there's puddles of water. Here you can hear their little warble, the bird song of a dove. It's quite interesting. They're not the prettiest singer, but the song has such emotion and love in it. Every year I try, and so far every year I fail, but this year might be different. So this is what I'm gonna plant. This is my summer garden. It is watermelon blacktail. This watermelon is a short season watermelon. I think it takes like 70 days. So if it takes 100, things take longer in Southern California because we don't have as much, we have more sun for the year, but we don't have as many sun hours as they do on the East Coast, or even less than what they have in Europe in the summertime. But these, I think online they said that these blacktail watermelon seeds are the shortest growing season watermelons that you can get that are pretty delicious. They are 8 to 12 pound watermelons, and they are supposed to be a favorite of, oh, and it says grows well in heat and drought. So that sounds good. So that's why I got those. This is the watermelon of my dreams. And everybody laughs at me because every year I try to grow these in Southern California. What am I thinking? It is 75 degrees pretty much all year long, and watermelons like 85 to 105 degrees. But one day I will figure out how to grow the most fabulous Keekly sweet watermelon, the Monte Cristo of watermelons in Southern California. These are, they're not that long of a day either. I think these are like 80, 85 days, but you have to add like 2 months for my location, which means if I put these in the ground in May, we're talking June, July, August, September, October watermelons. Yeah, 5 months. October watermelons. And those are the hottest months of my year. So I'm trying again. And then last year, I almost was lucky with these Golden Jenny melons. So I'm pretty sure I'll have Golden Jenny melons this year. Soil just didn't have enough in it. I am trying with peanuts again. And I just needed more peanuts. If you watched my gardening video where I have the man burger recipes, I'll show you, see all the birds in my garden, and they got to all my peanuts before me. So as soon as I plant enough peanuts for everybody, I'm sure I'll be a Southern California peanut grower. This okra did pretty good for me. This is Jing okra. So I'm gonna try this Jing okra again because it did pretty good for me. So I'm just gonna go for that one again. And then lastly, the corn. Last year, the birds got to all my corn, but I think I'm gonna outsmart them this year, and I'm gonna plant this Stowell's evergreen corn. I grew this one last year. This was the only corn that really gave me any fruit last year, but it was all bird bit, so I only got to eat like one piece. So I'm gonna go for it again. And hopefully this summer in Southern California, I finally have a garden that is noteworthy. I should admit, in Southern California, you should grow your corn in the late winter. So like I should have planted this corn in December, and it should have come up in January, which is our coldest month of the year. It would have got a little bit of a start. February, I should have had my corn and been picking it and eating it. So summer is the exact wrong time to grow corn in Southern California, but I am still going to put the corn out there. Maybe I should wait until it's a little bit hotter for the corn so I get fall corn. I don't know. I'll think about that. Nah, I'll go for it now. Why not go for it now? If it doesn't work, next spring, I'll do better. Now the monster is behind it. My boysenberry was trying to take over, and she has not even made a year. She's not even 9 months old yet. She was just trying to take over. I had to come back and show you guys how I trim her up to try to get, I mean, she's everywhere. She's like, this is Southern California. This is where I grow. I don't even water this. I don't water this area at all. This has not seen water since El Nino, okay? And she like, I ain't worried about it. I got space to take over. Next year, the birds are going to be elated over boysenberries. This is a monumental day. My boysenberry has gone to flower. And I think it looks like it's got buds all over. That's the first one to come out. Oh, you guys, they smell so beautiful. The boysenberry flowers smell delicious in and of themselves, and the plant's going to cover itself with them, I'm sure. They're in the rose family. You see? It looks just like a little rose. It's not even a small flower. The flower is a little over 2 inches long. So beautiful. I just had to share it with you. I was tempted to pull it up, but of course then I won't have any boysenberries, and the point of having a boysenberry plant is to grow boysenberries. I am so in awe of these blackberry flowers. These are boysenberries. They are the easiest berry to grow in Southern California. They're drought resistant. I did not water them all winter, nor did I water them in the spring. But now that it is summer, well, it's approaching summer. It's May, so I am watering them in the spring, but I didn't water them in March or April. And as soon as I started watering them, they started flowering. So that's what you call, look at all those buds. I'm greedily looking at these buds and thinking those are just the birds. Yeah, tons of birds living near the berries. I'm smelling these flowers. Oh, they smell so good. They smell like the prettiest rose you ever smelled. Did you know that a blackberry is a rose? Yeah, it's a rose. That's a rose right there. That's what a wild rose looks like. A blackberry. And the bloom is pretty big. I'm just going to put my finger out here. You see that? It's like a 2-inch diameter. Very, very nice. You can see, as I said, I didn't water. Some of the leaves are brown around the edges. These are the new leaves springing forth fully watered up. And I'm trying to show you all the buds. Yeah, full of buds. The flowers don't last that long though. So it's like as soon as they are fertilized, they kind of die back and hopefully become a berry. This is way better than strawberries because that's just, that one plant is like a massive amount of food and it is growing up the tree. I was hoping that it would get 20 foot long because I know that blackberry brambles can get 20 foot, but it looks like I only got about 6 foot. Looks like I got 6 foot brambles, which I used to have 10 to 12 foot when I was growing it in a pot, but I'm getting more fruit now. So maybe when it puts energy into growing fruit, it doesn't get 10 or 12 inches long. But I was hoping, since I'm growing it in the ground, to get 10 or 12 inches and to get 20 foot long vines. So then 10 foot for me and 10 foot for the birds was what I was thinking. I know the birds are thinking 20 foot for them, but now that I've only got 10 foot, I'm a little worried, but I know things will work out. There are lots of berries here. Do you see that? I just want to talk about the beautiful smell wafting from these blackberry flowers. It smells so fresh and so pretty. It smells like a fresh, sweet rose. And you do know that blackberries are definitely actually a rose. Yeah. So we eat the berries of this particular plant, but this is a rose, like many others. And it is a fruitful rose that smells gorgeous if you have the room for it. Let us go in a little bit closer here. See what we got. See if we can spy any bees fertilizing it. Oh, it smells so good. Seems like the smell wafts. I'm in the morning now, and it seems like the smell just wafts in the morning. Yeah, there's a little white on my leaves because I don't water my blackberry in the winter or the spring, and we didn't get as much water this year as we normally do. I'm starting to water now. These are the fresh leaves coming out with the flowers, and there's blackberries already formed on that. I'm really close to my plant now, and from this distance it smells like blackberries. I now understand. Yesterday, a red bird, which I never see, came into my garden. It looked kind of like a cardinal, but I know it wasn't because it had some brown on it. And it would not leave the bush. It was looking for the blackberries. And I thought, pardon my term, I was like, bird, don't you know there's no blackberries on that bush? But that bird must have a sense of smell because it was smelling blackberries. And this plant is now wafting a blackberry smell. A sure sign of what's to come. You see the fruits are actually green now, the ones that have been fertilized. And I'm depending on my little bees, my troop of bees and insects, because I do not use any pesticides, to come in here and fertilize every flower so that we have an abundance of fruit for all. See, my blackberries traveled into the next area there, so I probably won't bother opening up the gate and getting those. If there's fruit on those, I probably won't bother with that, but the fruit on these will be shared with me. I intend to eat some of it. That's a mallow for the hummingbirds.